Welcome everyone. My name is Saurabh Sahu. I am incubation coordinator at G2 Innovation and Startup Center, Ahmedabad. So, we have organized this program, Design Innovation and Solutions around COVID-19. So, as we know, we are facing a lot of challenges, and a lot of startups are already working to solve the issues here. So, we invited Mr. Bhaskar Bhatt, who is the expert in design, who has worked with medical devices, who carries a huge experience in designing the product devices and all. So, I invite sir to had a discussion. So we'll continue on this. We would like to invite sir, and we will have a session on this.
To next point. You have mentioned this all this regarding the cost factors and also building a sustainable medical devices. So to cater the large market. So you already mentioned some few points, but can you elaborate in this few more into this, because a lot of startups are already into this field. So building a sustainable in geographical conditions, sustainable product. For example, if you want to build it in India, so we can quote it between some our affordability ranges. But if you want to sell the same product to the Africa region, so maybe their government or their buyers need it much cheaper. That's in that geographical reason how we verified, because this situation is carried out in whole world. But the affordability and making it to the local region or to the geographical conditions, how we can specify this.
Okay, from a localization perspective, if you want to kind of okay, let me just take a step back there, Saurabh.
Yes.
To understand your question, you said how do you build a sustainable product?
Right.
The adjective sustainable, what do you really mean? Is it from an ecological sustainable perspective or a commercially sustainable perspective?
Commercially sustainable.
Commercially sustainable. If you're looking at a commercially sustainable model, I don't have a direct answer because it is always on a case-to-case basis.
Right.
We take every particular product that we have to work with, and then we look at it. So there is obviously, yeah. Hello?
Right. You can catch it.
Yeah. So there are obviously clear management strategies, or what we call as product development engineering strategies, where we say if you have a patented product, for example, right? If you're in complete control of the tech, if you're in complete control of the design, and you think that that's really the IPR is the most valuable part of your design, then you cannot have the product be opened up at a different geopolitical location, for example, Africa. Am I being understood? If not, please let me know.
Right.
So all I'm saying is that, look, if you're working on some cutting edge stuff, you don't want people to see what that stuff is. You might actually have to make everything here, assemble it here, and send it there. Right? But if IPR is not really an issue, and if it's a question of helping it in terms of erection commissioning, procurement erection commissioning kind of a situation, then you are looking at local standardization of several parts. So there are many strategies available. You look at whether there are other vendors who make it there, so you can actually save the whole cost of getting it here. You're also looking at the number of SKUs you have in your own product. You're trying to cut down, shave off extra cost at all points in time. Right. But localization works when you have very, very stringent quality protocols. If you're not able to work with vendors and if you're not able to ensure quality protocols, the tendency is that they will replace one of your parts with a substandard part, which will cause the overall system to fail. If that system fails, then your brand equity takes a big hit.
Okay, sir. So I think the IPR and the tech transfer can play a major role, because you can do it on the tech transfer if you want to build it some in other geographies.
Yeah, sell the tech, let somebody else make it for you.
Right. So that's the one major take from this question. So it's coming up into the next is the assistive device. Already there are a lot of tech available, and there are a lot of products available who assist you. For example, the IIT Delhi students have making that cane for blind people, and
smart cane,
right? Yeah, smart cane, and also Torchit is a company who is making as affordable in Ahmedabad region, and they are selling it globally. So assistive device has a lot of potential in the market, and maybe you have also worked in some kind of assistive product. So can you brief on this, how that can change the perspective of buyers, how they can communicate with them?
From the perspective of the Indian market, I would say that the assistive segment is at its infancy. What I mean by that is that people are waking up to the fact that you don't have to go to a hospital all the time to let's say get a BP check done. For example, I'm just using probably a very bad example here, right? You don't need to get a sugar test done. You don't have to go all the way there, right? Assistive devices also come in different categories. For example, assistive devices when it comes to extreme low volume segment, for example, paraplegia or cerebral palsy. Now, we might, of course, argue that it's not a small segment, it's a huge segment, but I always take it as a ratio of 1.3 billion people, a population of 1.3 billion people, and the number of children born with cerebral palsy. Does it mean that we should not do anything? No, we should definitely do everything that we can, but then the approaches to addressing that problem slightly differ from more of a consumer segment. If you were to look at the consumer side of operations or consumer side of products, for example, let's say the blood sugar monitoring device, which AccuCheck or Dr. Morton or Koi, all these guys sell. Now that market has exploded, right? I mean, as long as you maintain the accuracy and as long as you're able to take care of the variations, the market has actually exploded. So it's a huge market. But it's also an unorganized market. So kind of a centralization is what we see in the marketplace right now. But the assistive devices are absolutely huge right now. In fact, the focus of the government also, if you look at a lot of the medical policies that's being talked about in the country, every expert seems to point to the same thing. They continue to say that we have to reduce the number of people coming into the hospitals, which essentially means that if you fortify or if you strengthen your primary healthcare and the secondary healthcare network, the problem does not become as aggressive as to the patient having to go to AIMS, for example, when the time is too late or when the condition has progressed too far. So assistive devices is the future. Home care is the absolute future of healthcare in this country.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can we move on to some one-to-one questions from the startups who are joining here?
Absolutely.
So, I think we have Mr. Dhaval Trivedi. Dhaval, can you hear me? Dhaval Trivedi.
Yes, I can hear you.
So, do you have any specific queries regarding your product so that sir can answer?
Yes, actually, I am just now put at one product which I have made open source, and now I want to have it connected to various, agencies and all, so I can put it in front of them and can have it tested on a large scale. So on that note, I wanted the guidance. How can I put that in front?
Sir, could you please tell me what the product is? I've seen the deck, but I can't remember what you're talking about.
Actually, I'm working on two skill sets basically. For the one skill set, I have made one kind of a toothbrush like of. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So for one innovation, I have made a toothbrush like of thing that is a suction-based equipment that is used.
I saw that.
That can be used for overall oral hygiene, and the second skill set is medical images segmentation. That means now I and a few guys from Baroda with me all togetherly, we are a team. We are working on how does the corona look like in the lung.
Okay.
So that can be segmented from chest CT scan from an affected patient, that it can be compared with the normal one, and we can see how it damages or how it forms around the bronchi and stops the airways. So on this skill set, currently I am associated with.
Interesting. How do you intend to monetize that?
So I'm trying to look for a model or a strategy where I can approach to the doctors or to channelize my approach, or what could be the pitching strategy for all this. So I'm working on those things now.
Okay. So to everybody here in the session, whatever I say, please take it with a pinch of salt, because each case is different, each person's story is different, and so you'll have to. There is no one answer that fits everyone. So please don't take this literally as the gospel truth. What I feel, Mr. Trivedi, is that Mr. Trivedi, right? Dhaval Trivedi?
Right. Yes, Dhaval Trivedi, yeah.
Mr. Trivedi, what I feel is that, situations like corona or influenza or pneumonia are essentially public health issues. They're not really individual health issues. Now, of course, it's a pandemic. It could be an epidemic. But this is really where the state or the country's healthcare system takes over, rather than individual doctors coming into play. Now, if you were to migrate your efforts towards, let's say, lung cancer, if you were to migrate your case towards, let's say, pneumonia or upper respiratory infections caused by deteriorating air quality, or pediatrics for that matter. At that point, it starts to make commercial sense. Ask yourself, who would really pay for tech like this? Or who would pay to see the image?
I got it.
Yes, please go ahead.
This is Dr. Prachi Pandey. Actually, I'm from a pharmaceutical sciences background, and I'm a specialist in IPR filing. So I have some inputs here. RNA containing in the virus can be neutralized with the help of some lysozymes. So in one of my projects that is now being converted to startup is containing an adsorbent layer, which is containing some lysis buffers. And those lysis buffer can inactivate the RNA. So first of all, we have to lyse the membrane of the viral structure. That is very common. Normally, it has been tested on many kind of influenza virus and some kind of viruses. What is significant here is like the coronavirus codes for almost like more than 2,000 nucleotide bases. Right? Means the nucleotides are present. They code for many glycoproteins. So yes, if they're coding for glycoproteins, definitely we have a certain kind of structures that we know, and definitely we can kill that or neutralize that using the specific type of lysozymes. So just to add it, there are researches going on, but still in one project we are trying actually to do that.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's a medical opinion for you guys. So
yes.
Thank you, Prachi. Hello. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Prachi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But do you have any other specific related to design and innovations so that sir can really help in that segment?
I have a question from sir also. Actually, in the design of our, actually we have designed a mask, but still it is in the validation state. So once it is validated, definitely it would be out. But I just wanted to know one thing is like how to do the cost management. Actually, when we are designing the mask, our cost is getting little high. Adsorbent layers, then we had done some of the scientific transcriptase enzymes and all we have added. What we have calculated is like the cost may not be affordable to the normal public. Means like a little bit elite society can take it, but not all. How to do exactly so that the cost could be minimized in that?
Dr. Pandey, there is no specific answer to this question. In my 20 years of work, each case has been different. Each medical case has been different. I've worked in Africa, I've worked in New Zealand, Africa, India, Nepal, in and out of hospitals. I've done different technologies that work with maternal health, neonatal health. And the challenge has always been the same. The challenge is who is the consumer and who is the user. Consumer is someone who pays for it, user is the one who uses it. For example, if there is an Ebola outbreak or COVID outbreak, for example, and the question is who pays for the masks? So it's obviously the government which is paying for the mask, but it's actually being used by the people at the front line. When it comes to individual procurement, unfortunately, there is no straight answer. Management of cost, sometimes we know management of cost is just a matter of better material design, if we may say, or materials research, where we find low-cost alternatives in terms of materials. In some cases, it has been shown that it's the volumes. Suppose now, if I, as you would know, if I were to work with, let's say, let me give you an absolutely silly example, just to make a point. Now, if I were to work with Parkinson's in this country, the ratio of the Parkinson's patient and the prevalence of Parkinson's to a population of 1.4 billion, the ratio is huge. Or in other words, the ratio is very small. X by Y is very, very small. Yeah.
Yes.
On the other hand, if you look at COVID, look at coronavirus, you have over probably 5 lakh people infected and continue to grow exponentially every single day, where other countries are not taking care. But that divided by a world population of 8 billion. So the ratio is that much more high. Now,
Yes.
so here in the world of product engineering, we use a word called laddering. It's laddering, yeah. So that's the word that we use. Now, laddering, for example, let me give you an example to illustrate what I'm talking about. Now, when companies like Videocon or IFB or LG or Samsung have to build a new washing machine for Indian segments, the innovation team actually gets a brief saying, go and find out what India really needs. And then these people go to 7 different cities, do a lot of qualitative research, try and understand what people really want, come back, collate that, extract intelligence, and write a brief and say, look, our ideal price point is 30,000 rupees. They should have all these functions. These are the colors that would work. Blah 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 blah. So there is a lot of market intelligence that comes in, and then the design and engineering actually starts. But the tendency of the design and the engineering team or the product innovation team is to put all the features in one single architecture, as we say.
Yes. Right.
So you want to give everything in that one thing and make it so super foolproof, but in turn it makes it so expensive that nobody can afford it.
Yes.
Or rather,
exactly.
very few people can afford it. So we use a word called laddering, where we say that you take in pure Hindi, the sada sasta tikau. You take that baseline. You take the baseline, and you establish that as the middle ground, and you say, my beta version is actually this. It's just that much. Then I will take a feature out, and I will come down. I will frugalize the product. I will use the same architecture, but I will frugalize the product, and I will launch something at 22,000 rupees. But my baseline entry-level model is at 25,000 rupees. Now I offer something with neurophagy logic, which is 27,000 rupees. And then I offer something with, let's say, I'm making it up as I go along, but I'm going to say silver ion technology, which kills everything but wood. That's at 30,000 rupees. What have I done? What I've done is I've taken the same architecture, but I've broken it down into 4 different consumer segmentations based on affordability or based on where you can pitch. And then I offer 4 different products in the marketplace, which allows me to survive in the marketplace. Because if one category fails, the other category works.
Yeah, thank you. It was very much useful. Actually, I got much idea to do it for different segments. Thank you so much.
Excuse me. My question is to Dr. Prachi. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have said that glycoprotein compounds are there, and Corona is able to make around 2,000 patents. So, applying the basic science, we can see that the nitrogen compounds can break up the protein compounds very easily, and there are some bacteria that are present into the roots of some of the plants like pulses.
Yes.
and they are very much helping into it. So I'm not a medical person. I'm just a PBA student. So you can even research about it something, in that area.
Okay.
So that's just a bit of thought suggestion.
Yes. No. Yeah, that is a good one. Actually, we need to target the point at which we can actually neutralize the virus. So definitely, if we can identify the nucleotide basis, but actually it is not totally identified yet. But yes, there are some expectations that definitely viral RNA contain these segments. So we are targeting on those points. So definitely some points could be considered from your part also. That is very useful. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. And even looking at the second problem, which is of migration and all. The people from engineering background were here who are present. The question is to them that if at all and even if you have heard the news at all, then some meeting was taking place into the Hazrat Nizamuddin centers, and people are taking place. So for news that
Sorry to interrupt, Yesha, but can we stick to the whole the topic what we are covering this? We can take this. We can take this offline. I can connect with you, Prachi madam, and you can discuss moreover on this. So we can discuss this online.
I totally understand the product thing. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So anyone next who can add a one-to-one with Bhaskar sir? Hello.
Hello, my name is Dan,
Right.
and I'm presently studying pharmacy, a bachelor of pharmacy. So I've come up with a startup plan. So I would like to ask this: how much time does it take for a startup to come into action, means to come into market?
That's a very generic question, Dan. So are you still working on some product or you just have a plan?
I'm working on a product. The point is that the coronavirus, it is said that during the summer season, it will die off. It will, due to the increase in temperature, it is possible that the virus will get eradicated from the world naturally. So if the startup takes time to come into action, it is possible that by the time our product is being product comes into the market, it is possible that by the time the virus may get eradicated. So I would just like to know about how much time would it take?
So that's a very I would like to say that's very general thing. We need to validate. We need to take care of the as sir mentioned earlier, the aspects of taking into the market and all. So that is very general, specific, but it varies from product to product. We cannot give some formula that it will work, it will not work, but it varies. Sir, are you online, Bhaskar sir?
Yeah, I'm online. My video is not working, but I'm online.
Right, sir. Please.
Yeah, so if I may answer the gentleman's question.
Right, sure, sir.
If the video was on, you would actually see me smile. The reason you would see me smile is it's probably the most difficult question that you would hope to try and answer and to give a specific timeline and say, look, my startup is going to be up in 24 hours or 24 years or 24 weeks or whatever. You'll realize probably within 1 year of operations that the original idea that we started out with is no longer valid in the marketplace, and you have to do a complete pivot to make sure that you monetize that. I have seen that point several times in my life, where you start off with an idea only to realize that ये काम नहीं कर रहा है, and you need to do a quick pivot.
We need a buffer time for that.
No, it's not about a buffer time. It's about you trying to. So okay, from the business world, let me give you an example. So the business world thinks in terms of horizon. So what we call as H1, H2, and H3. Okay. Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Horizon 3. Horizon 1 is something that happens within the next 1 year. Horizon 2 is something that happens between 3 to 5, and Horizon 3 is something that happens between 8 to 10.
Okay.
So H1, H2, H3. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to address a problem, or you're trying to address an opportunity, as I say, for H1. Now, look at the conditions of H1 are not in your control, probably not in my control as well. I don't think anybody is in control at the moment. Right? So what I would suggest is that please take a step back and see if you can aim for a Horizon 2. In other words, by changing the definition or changing the core values of your startup to addressing, let's say, infectious diseases or pandemics or epidemics, rather than saying I'm going to do something exactly for COVID.
Okay, but is it possible that this COVID-19 virus remains throughout the life, but it only comes back during the winter session? So, can it be a winter virus?
Sir, I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified to even answer that question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you, Dan. We have anyone here? Akhand, do you have any specific question? Akhand Jyoti?
हाँ सर एक्चुअली ये सामान कहाँ से लाएंगे सर, इसका ये कुछ सर्किट्स वगैरह चाहिए थी, तो सर लॉकडाउन हो गया है।
नहीं, रिलेटेड टू डिजाइन और उसके अलावा कुछ क्वेश्चंस है जो भास्कर सर आपको गाइड कर पाए, या एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू योर प्रोडक्ट?
अच्छा हाँ सर, एक्चुअली क्या है ना कि कई बार हम लोग मतलब जब डिजाइन वगैरह करते हैं तो 2-3 टेक्नोलॉजीज को मतलब हाइब्रिड करके जब प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं तो उसमें क्या होता है ना सर कि मतलब हम लोग की एक तो स्पेसिफिकेशन इस टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बहुत डीपली भी नहीं रहता है, पर उसमें क्या है कि हम लोग काम करते हैं तो एक मतलब सक्सेसफुल उस चीज को हम लोग बना नहीं पाते। मतलब जैसे काफी क्या कह सकते, मतलब बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं। जैसे मैं एक अल्कानाइजर पे बना रहा था, तो वो अल्कलाइन वाटर डेवलप करने के लिए, तो एक्चुअली मैं कॉस्ट कम करने के लिए मैंने मेटल शीट्स को प्लेटिनम की जगह स्टेनलेस स्टील्स यूज किया, पर वो मतलब क्वालिटी हमें नहीं मिल पाया। तो फिर मतलब ऐसे टाइम पे मतलब क्या करना चाहिए? मतलब जरूरी है कि मतलब क्वालिटी ध्यान रखे या फिर कॉस्ट को ध्यान रखे, मतलब एक सक्सेसफुल प्रोडक्ट बनने के लिए?
अच्छा देखिए, मैं इस सवाल का जवाब इस तरीके से दूंगा कि अगर आप सिर्फ कॉस्ट पे ध्यान देंगे तो शायद 3 साल चलेंगे, क्वालिटी पे ध्यान देंगे तो अगले 15 साल चलेंगे। एक सिंपल सा फंडा है ना, मतलब आप बहुत लोगों को बेवकूफ बना सकते हैं लेकिन सभी को एक साथ बेवकूफ नहीं बना सकते। तो कब तक चलेगा आपका प्रोडक्ट? अगर इंफीरियर क्वालिटी है मार्केट में, कब तक चलता है, कब तक चलेगा?
पर सर इतने क्वालिटी पे तो मतलब सभी, जैसे कई सारी कंपनीज है मार्केट में, वो लोग सब मतलब वो तो अभी मतलब चालू ही है। अगर हमको मतलब उससे अच्छा कुछ मतलब डिजाइन करना है तो, और मतलब इंडियन मार्केट तक पहुंच सके, क्योंकि काफी सारे ऐसे प्रोडक्ट है, आप देख लीजिए जैसे कि आरओ मेम्ब्रेन्स, आरओ फिल्टर्स है, तो वो तो मार्केट में बहुत ज्यादा है। पर कोई मतलब जैसे अल्कालाइनर्स हो गया कि जो अल्कलाइन वाटर डेवलप करते, तो इस टाइप के प्रोडक्ट्स मतलब काफी मार्केट में, इंडियन मार्केट में हालांकि नहीं है अभी तक ज्यादातर मतलब फैमिलीज के पास। तो इस जगह पे मतलब
नहीं बिल्कुल अगर देखिए, अगर ये एक न्यू मार्केट सेगमेंटेशन जिसको बोलते हैं वो है, मतलब ये आपको मार्केट क्रिएट करना पड़ता है। बहुत कुछ साल पहले मैं यूरेका फोर्ब्स की एक मीटिंग में बैठा था, जहाँ यूरेका फोर्ब्स ये बात कर रहे थे कि एक चाइनीज ने एक नया कुछ इन्वेंट किया था जिसको वो हाइड्रोजनेटेड वाटर बोलते थे। वो कहते थे कि हाइड्रोजनेटेड, एंड ऐसे क्या होता है ना कि ऐसी चीजें जब फैट बन के मार्केट में उतरती हैं तो आप ये देखेंगे कि ये हर किस्म के दावा करते हैं कि ये कैंसर भी क्योर कर देगा, लिवर डिसीज भी क्योर कर देगा, तो बीपी भी कम कर देगा, ऑल सॉर्ट्स ऑफ थिंग्स। तो ये हाइड्रोजनेटेड वाटर भी, अगर आप थोड़ा सा गूगल कर लें तो ये देखेंगे हाइड्रोजनेटेड वाटर का एक फैट चला था बीच में 2-3 साल पहले। तो ये कहते थे कि ये पानी पीने से आपके एसिडिक लेवल जो है बॉडी में वो कम हो जाती है, कैंसर नहीं होता वगैरह वगैरह, अल्कलाइन हुआ। तो उसका जो किट था उन्होंने चाइना से इंपोर्ट कर, मैंने वो देखा है कि उन्होंने चाइना से इंपोर्ट करवाया था, वो हम रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग करने की पूरी कोशिश करी थी। बट देन यू रियलाइज दैट देयर इज नो साइंटिफिक एविडेंस टू दिस, फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट। लेकिन वो हाइड्रोजनेटेड वाटर की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं, आपकी इस बात में। तो ये आपको थोड़ा सा देखना होता है कि अगर मार्केट सेगमेंटेशन है तो मैं आपसे दरख्वास्त ये करूंगा कि आप बहुत क्लियर रहें कि किस मार्केट सेगमेंट के लिए आप केटर कर रहे हैं। ओके, हर चीज हर आदमी को फिट नहीं होता, या हर चीज बॉटम ऑफ द इकोनॉमिक पिरामिड में नहीं होता। सो ये बहुत क्लियर है. अगर टेक्नोलॉजी है और आपकी वॉल्यूम्स कम है तो शायद आपको प्रीमियम प्राइसिंग पे एक डिफरेंट मार्केट सेगमेंट, अर्बन हेल्थ कॉन्शियस लोगों के सेगमेंट पे जाना पड़ेगा टू सर्वाइव एज अ स्टार्टअप. वो होने के बाद आपने अगर एक दूसरा SKU निकाला मार्केट में जो कम दाम में आप ज्यादा अपने बेस को, कंज्यूमर बेस को वाइडन कर पाए, तो बहुत अच्छी बात रहेगी. बट ये पहले, जैसे मैंने तकरीबन आधे घंटे पहले फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन के आंसर में कहा था, ये क्वांटम ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पे बहुत डिपेंड करता है. आप कॉस्ट जो है वो क्वांटम ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पे, वॉल्यूम से डिपेंड करता है. अगर आप कम वॉल्यूम में हाई टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर रहे हैं तो वो महंगा ही होगा, एंड देन यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू सेल इट टू द पीपल. फिर आपको यू कैन नॉट कंपेयर चॉक एंड चीज इज व्हाट आई से. तो वो पहले से आपको क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए कि ये सेगमेंट में हम नहीं उतर सकते हैं. Because this is the cost of production that we have.
Right. So I think सर ने काफी अच्छे से इसको एक्सप्लेन किया है. So next it is Ridham Patel. Ridham, are you here?
Yeah, I am here.
So आप अपना क्वेश्चन जो है स्पेसिफिकली, yes. So
yeah,
please आप अपना क्वेश्चन स्पेसिफिकली
know that how I want to know that how would I be pitching to companies, as we know that ventilators is the greater demand right now in the country and in the whole world. So as we know that government has ordered to automobile companies to build ventilators. But as per a news report, the ventilators which are built right now are the normal ventilators with a single pipe, or a ventilator is used for a single patient. What if we do that for two patients or three patients by connecting two different pipes or three different pipes just by tweaking up the motor? So
if you actually study the product innovations that are being done or the hacks that are being right now, everybody is attempting the same thing,
Yeah, but actually the thing is, it is not done right now currently in our state and in our country. Different countries are approaching towards that, but our country is not done right now, not doing it right now.
So my question to you is this. My question to you is, will you actually have a working prototype with full quality checks and certifications done in 6 months' time?
If I get a hand on a ventilator, I would definitely be doing that.
I'm talking about productionizing it, my friend.
I will be needing a large production house. Right?
Yeah. See, these are questions that you answer right at the beginning as a startup. Agar aap, building a proof of concept is just the first baby step that we have taken in the business. Yeah. There are four, as I say, there are four valleys of depth. There are four valleys of depth between ideas and how products and how ideas succeed. Four valleys of depth. अगर we ऐसे खाई में गिरते हैं ना वैसे. There are four valleys of depth. First valley is not knowing what to do. Not knowing what to do simply means that अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है, मैं आपकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I'm talking about any startup. If the startup is trying to do something which the world doesn't need, then that's the first valley of depth. The second valley of depth is not knowing how to do it, or bad design, bad engineering, bad safety, bad durability, bad material choices. These are classic examples of where a lot of startups fail. The third startup failure is not finding the right kind of team to scale it, because you can't do everything yourself. The first question you should be asking is, if I'm dealing a Horizon 1 project, do I have the capability to put out 1,000 certified ventilators in the next 6 months or even 12 months, for example?
Yeah. So scaling is
that's the first question you should really be asking. Work backwards in terms of project management skills. Right? In terms of project management skills, you work backwards.
Yeah.
And you say, all I have is 12 months. Because, in 12 months, either we will have a control on this pandemic with all the strategies that are being applied, or the world would have lost control. Let's hope that the latter doesn't happen.
Right. Thank you, sir, and thank you, Rhythm. So, moving next, we have Jaideep Bhatani, ACDC.
Hi, Jaideep.
Hello, Jaideep.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, Jaideep. हाँ, तो आपका कोई स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन है सर के साथ डिस्कस करने, बिकॉज यू आर ऑलरेडी वर्किंग विद सम प्रोटोटाइप्स, सो सर के साथ कुछ डिस्कस करने का था आपका?
यस सर, अभी क्या है, हमने दो स्पेशल कोरोना के लिए दो प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है, तो उसको मैं मार्केट में स्केल करना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन अभी रिसेंटली कैसे मार्केट में सेल करूँ वो मेरे को मालूम नहीं। उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा गाइड करो तो अच्छा रहेगा।
सर आपने क्या बनाया है?
मैंने एक स्मार्ट एंड पोर्टेबल वॉश बेसिन बनाया है प्रिवेंटिंग कोरोना वायरस, और दूसरा है तो फेस मास्क।
क्या बनाया आपको?
स्मार्ट एंड पोर्टेबल वॉश बेसिन बनाया है, बिना टच किए हैंड वॉश हो सकता है इसमें, और दूसरा है तो फेस मास्क है 3D। वो दोनों प्रोजेक्ट सक्सेसफुली रन है, लेकिन उसको मैं मार्केट में कैसे स्केल करूं वो मेरे को मालूम है।
ओके, इस सवाल के दो पहलू हैं। एक पहलू ये है कि अगर स्मार्ट वॉश बेसिन आपका मतलब बहुत ज्यादा अगर इनोवेटिव है तो मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा कि डिफरेंशिएशन कैसा है, क्योंकि हमारे पास स्मार्ट टैप्स ऑलरेडी हैं, वॉश बेसिन विद एंटी माइक्रोबियल कोटिंग्स वगैरह आती हैं। मैंने डिजाइन नहीं देखा है आपका, तो आई वोंट बी एबल टू कमेंट ऑन व्हाट यू डन। सो क्वेश्चन ये है कि ये मान के अगर करते हैं कि आपने जो बनाया है जो ठीक बनाया है, मास्क भी अपने 3D प्रिंटेड जो है वो ठीक बनाया है आपने, तो मेरे हिसाब से सबसे पहले आपको एक ऐसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हाउस के साथ संपर्क में आना चाहिए, एक्चुअली प्रोडक्शन कर सके वो। सेकंड इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, सप्लाई चेन।
प्रोडक्शन कर सकते हैं,
कैसे कर सकते हैं?
हमारे पास 3D प्रिंटिंग मशीन है, तो उसमें मास्क का प्रोडक्शन हो सकता है। और वॉश बेसिन की बात करें तो उसमें भी रॉ मटेरियल जो है वो सूरत में अवेलेबल है, रॉ मटेरियल उसके लिए, तो वो भी हम कर सकते हैं। प्रोडक्शन लाइन सेट करने के लिए वो
तो आप एक काम करें, तो इसका एक सीधा जवाब ये होगा कि एक पायलट लॉट होता है जहाँ पे मोस्ट आपकी प्रोस्पेक्टिव मार्केट्स में पायलट लॉट यानी कि आपको फर्स्ट 100 कस्टमर्स का वो बहुत धक्का रहता है, हर एक एंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए वो धक्का रहता है। फर्स्ट 100 कस्टमर्स का जो एक्विजिशन है उसका एक कॉस्ट भी होता है, उसको टाइम भी लगता है, उसकी मेहनत आपको करनी पड़ेगी। एंड देन इट इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ वर्ड ऑफ माउथ पब्लिसिटी प्लस टारगेटेड एडवर्टाइजिंग वगैरह। उसके बाद आपको मार्केटिंग रैंप अप करना ही पड़ेगा, तब जाके अगर आपने यूज केस सिनेरियो दिखा दिया कि ये हॉस्पिटल में हमने अर्ज को अप्लाई कर दिया है, तो अडॉप्शन आपका काफी इजी हो सकता है।
ठीक है सर, ओके सर, थैंक यू।
फर्स्ट 100 कस्टमर्स का आपका टारगेट होना चाहिए, वो आप किसी भी हाल में उसको स्केल अप करें, एंड देन पीपल विल अडॉप्ट इट। इफ द प्रोडक्ट इज गुड, पीपल विल टेक इट।
थैंक यू जयदीप, थैंक यू सर। सो वी विल टेक अ लास्ट क्वेश्चन, अगर कोई है तो if has anyone specific to medical devices, we will take the last question. Anyone here?
I think Bharat wants to.
Bharat?
Yes.
Yes, Bharat.
सर हाँ एक्चुअली हम है ना एक सैनिटाइजर टनल का प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं। मैंने पूरा मतलब डिजाइनिंग वगैरह बना दिया है,
देखा है।
तो अभी नेक्स्ट जो टाइम आएगा, क्योंकि अभी वायरस का तो नेक्स्ट अभी समझो कि हंटा वायरस भी थोड़ी बहुत हमें बू आ रही है कि भाई मार्केट में कि हंटा वायरस भी पॉसिबिलिटी है फ्यूचर में। ओके, और ऐसे कई सारे जर्म्स है, बैक्टीरिया से जो मतलब रूम में भी छा जाते हैं, कोई गेस्ट आता है बाहर से, तो हमने एक चीज का इनिशिएटिव लिया है, उसमें हम सैनिटाइजर टनल बनाने वाले हैं कि जैसे ही मतलब कोई भी शॉपिंग मॉल होगा, कोई भी बड़ी फैक्ट्री होगी या फिर कोई भी मार्केट होगा, तो उसके बाहर वो टनल रखेंगे, तो कोई भी अंदर एंटर होगा तो पूरा सैनिटाइज होके एग्जिट हो जाएगा। और वो सेंसर बेस्ड होगा, सिंपल चीज है लेकिन इफेक्टिव है, क्योंकि पूरा बॉडी सैनिटाइज होगा तो जर्म्स बैक्टीरिया ऐसे ही मर जाएंगे। और हमने यूवी पे ट्राई किया था, तो यूवी पे प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ओनली मतलब उसको आधे घंटे तक यूवी इफेक्ट देना पड़ता है, तभी जाके जर्म्स किल होते हैं, और हमारे पास इतना टाइम्स नहीं है कि हम आधे घंटे तक यूवी दे।
और आधे घंटे तक किसी को एक्सपोज करना है यूवी के लिए काफी इश्यूज हो सकते हैं। तो वो
हाँ वो स्किन डिसीज में हो सकता है उससे, तो सिंपल डेटोल या लाइजोल का सैनिटाइजर बना के टैंक फिलिंग करके पूरा मतलब एकदम
मिस्ट किया होगा आपने।
यस तो स्प्रिंकलिंग का, तो वो क्या चल सकता है मार्केट में?
मार्केट में बिल्कुल चलेगा, खौफ चल रहा है। दिस आई थिंक इज वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटीज। अगर आप देखें कि सार्स के बाद आपने एक कंट्रोल चीज देखी होगी कि डिफरेंट के मार्केट्स में आप जापानीज जब भी पूरा ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड ट्रैवल करते हैं तो वो मास्क पहन के ट्रैवल करते हैं। कभी आपको ताजुब होता है कि वो मतलब इंडिया में आके मास्क क्यों पहनते हैं। मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि वो पोल्यूशन है, बट बाद में पता चला कि वो एक कल्चरल इशू है कि सार्स के आने के बाद उनका वो कल्चरल हैबिट बन गया कि वो मास्क पहन के घूमे।
बराबर।
ये एक बहुत बहुत टर्निंग पॉइंट है हमारे पब्लिक हेल्थ सिचुएशन में। इसका भरपूर फायदा उठाना चाहिए। हालांकि इंडिया में क्या है कि ऐसी सब चीजें मुश्किल होती है अडॉप्शन में, बट मेरे हिसाब से ये बहुत सही टाइम है और आपके प्रोडक्ट के चलने के पूरे पॉसिबिलिटी।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है। तो क्या हम एक्चुअली मैंने इंटरनेशनल एक्सपर्ट से भी बात की थी, कनाडा और यूएस, वो उसको भी बहुत पसंद आया वो चीज। बोला कि आप वर्क करो उस पे, हम एक्सेप्ट करेंगे। है इजी लेकिन थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्चुअल है, क्योंकि सेंसर बेस्ड करना पड़ता है, किसी चीज को टच नहीं करना है। अगर टच करेंगे तो वही वापस वो संक्रमित हो सकता है, इसलिए बिना टच के अंदर जाएगा तो सैनिटाइज होगा, फिर बिना टच के बाहर निकल जाएगा।
जी बिल्कुल। नहीं, वो कम्प्लीटली ऐसे इमोशन बेस्ड ही होना चाहिए। फॉर्मेट्स से ट्रांसमिशन जितने भी होंगे उन तक तो कम करना ही चाहिए। पॉसिबल है। यही है कि ये खौफ कितना चलेगा और
खौफ तो समझो अभी खौफ बैठ गया, समझो 21 दिन की मेमोरी है तो खौफ तो बैठेगा ही।
क्या?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. So we are ending up this meeting. Thank you Bhaskar sir. Thanks for your time, everyone who has contributed in this quarantine. And stay safe, stay at home, and don't create anything which is like fake news and all, because everyone is messaging so much fake news. So everyone, I hope is doing good, well, and stay safe at home. Thank you sir.
And wash your hands.
Yes, please wash your hands everywhere, every time. Thank you, sir.
Good day. Thanks a lot.
Bye.